It was a night like any other on the long, desolate road between Monterrey and Saltillo. The wind howled against the truck's frame, like a warning no one could quite hear. The moon was absent, leaving everything drowned in a suffocating darkness, broken only by the beams of the headlights slicing through the endless stretch of highway. The trucker, a seasoned driver, was used to these solitary nights, but something felt off. That eerie sensation of being watched, the subtle prickling at the back of his neck, as if invisible eyes followed him mile after mile. Suddenly, his solitude was shattered. His phone buzzed furiously with notifications, one after another. Messages from his fellow truckers. They all asked the same chilling question. Who's the woman sitting next to you? His heart raced as he glanced at the passenger seat. Empty. Completely empty. But his colleagues weren't joking. Through the security cameras installed in every truck by the company, they had seen her. A woman, sitting silently beside him, staring blankly at the road ahead. Fear crept in like a cold mist, coiling itself around him. He was alone. Wasn't he? The driver replied, trying to steady his shaking hands. No, there was no one with him. But then, the image came through, a screenshot from the camera. And there she was, a woman dressed in white, pale face, hollow eyes locked straight ahead, as though she'd been riding there the whole time. The air grew thick, suffocating. This hardened trucker, used to facing anything the road could throw at him, felt sweat drip cold down his back. He knew in that moment he was caught in something far beyond his understanding, something dark, something real. Fear turned into dread. By the time he reached the truck depot, his legs barely held him up. His fellow drivers gathered around, showing him the image again, as if they needed to convince themselves it was real. They had seen the impossible. They had witnessed the unexplainable, and they knew exactly what it meant. On that route, between Monterrey and Saltillo, this kind of thing never ends well. In hushed voices, one of them uttered the name no one wanted to hear. La Muerta de Saltillo. An old legend. A ghostly figure who haunts lonely truckers, appearing suddenly, claiming the passenger seat as if it belongs to her. Those who've seen her rarely escape unscathed. Accidents, vanishings, stories that all end in tragedy. The weight of that curse settled on the driver's shoulders like a shadow he knew he'd never shake. The signs began almost immediately. The truck's radio would switch on by itself in the dead of night, static crackling through the speakers, sometimes mixing with faint, unintelligible whispers. Small sounds echoed inside the cabin, faint breathing, soft creaks, as if someone sat beside him, unseen. Glimpses in the rearview mirror, flashes of something that vanished as soon as he turned his head. Whatever it wasn't gone. It was there, biding its time, waiting for the right moment to strike. It wasn't just a rumor. The more the driver tried to rationalize what had happened, the deeper the legend pulled him in. Other truckers shared similar encounters. The woman in white, always appearing at night, asking for a ride, or worse, just appearing without a word. Accidents happened far too often on that stretch of road. Trucks overturning on straight paths. Drivers swearing they'd seen something before losing control. How many times could this happen before people stopped calling it coincidence? The story behind La Muerta de Saltillo isn't some bedtime tale. Decades ago, they say, a young woman was hit by a truck on that road in the middle of the night. Dressed in white, her body was never found. Since then, she roams endlessly, seeking a ride back home. But there's no home for her anymore, only a burning thirst for revenge, fed by every trucker who crosses her path. Is that the truth? Or is it just the mind playing tricks on those who drive these haunted highways? But the most disturbing part? The numbers. Fatal accidents on this route happen at a rate that defies logic. Statistically off the charts. Coincidence? That's what the officials would like you to believe. But the truckers know better. On that road, fear has a name, and it wears white. Faced with such terror, truckers developed a ritual of protection. They started placing stuffed animals on the passenger seat, known as chalanes. Not superstition. It's survival. A silent agreement to fill that empty seat, to keep the entity from sitting there. These plush guardians became their shields, a barrier between the living and the shadows. And strangely, it worked. The driver, after that horrifying night, never hit the road again without his chalan. A brown teddy bear, with big round eyes, always buckled into the seat beside him, facing the road ahead. It wasn't comfort. It was necessity. Before every trip, the bear was placed carefully, like a talisman holding back the darkness. And maybe that's what kept him going, night after night, facing the terror head-on with nothing but a stuffed bear as his defense. But not everyone followed the ritual. Some, laughing it off, drove alone. They were the ones who didn't always make it back. The chalan was more than a symbol. It was a warning, a reminder that some legends are born from something real, something that leaves scars. How many drivers were saved because of these silent protectors, and how many ignored the signs, only to disappear without a trace. Days after his first encounter, the driver took to the road again, but the fear never left him. On one cold, restless night, it happened again. As soft music played through the speakers, the cabin's temperature plummeted. The rearview mirror fogged up, as if someone was breathing too close. And then, in the reflection, she appeared again. The woman in white, standing beside the chalan, staring at him with hollow, soulless eyes. He tried to stay calm, gripping the wheel, but the terror clawed at him. The stuffed bear toppled over, pushed by unseen hands. The truck shook as if something dark slithered through the cabin. He slammed the pedal, desperate to escape. But how do you run from something that has no form? Her face, pale as death, hair flowing like shadows, dress billowing as though caught in a breeze that wasn't there. She was there, and he knew. It was only a matter of time before she claimed him too. Within days, another accident occurred, just a few miles down that same cursed highway. This time, the driver didn't survive, and the image of the woman, captured once again by security cameras, spread like wildfire online, leaving everyone with a haunting question. Will she ever stop? Or will she keep haunting that road, forever hungry for new souls to drag into her endless nightmare? You might not believe in ghosts, but after hearing this, maybe you'll think twice before driving that road at night, alone.